Good morning, everybody. It's the Saints man, small van driver on the CX. It's Wednesday, the 1st of December. Yeah, we've finally made it to December. And the time is 11:05. I've got about an hour and a half to kill. I'm in just outside Bridgend, waiting to pick up at 1 o'clock. And I'm going to Abingdon. This will be a Monday to the present day on the CX. What I've been doing, another busy week, starts the week. It's been pretty good. I start off with Monday, and I had a job on, if you remember, from my regular bloke who gives me a fair bit of work, in fact a lot of work, to go to Newcastle upon Tyne. I was going to leave the house at 5:45, 6 o'clock, and I'd got 11 o'clock booking at Newcastle. It was north of Newcastle upon Tyne, sort of 5 mile north of Newcastle. So I set the alarm, but a drama started well before that. Cures my dog, Millie. You've seen her on a previous video. 14-year-old Weimaraner, absolute darling. We lost our boy Ozzy 2 years ago. Another Weimaraner, and we've had Millie since she was 6 months old. Bless her, she had a seizure in the night. It's pretty dramatic. I woke up at 3 o'clock. Something just woke me up. The dog lays on a duvet by the side of my bed, our bed, me and Julie, and something not right. So I looked at the clock. It was 3 o'clock, just on 3 o'clock. I thought, oh geez, got another couple of hours to skip yet. But I do this, not quite right with that. And I went to the toilet on the ensuite, and she sort of made it was just strange. She tried to get up, and she couldn't really get up. She was like a drunk, like this dog had 14 pints of Stella. She was pretty drunk, and she couldn't really get up. It was quite worrying. I went to the kitchen, put the light on, and I thought I'll come back and see what's, perhaps she's just had a bit of a... And she tried to come down the corridor, which we live in a lodge, big lodge, and the corridor was about 5 yards, and she was all over the place. She was falling over, getting up, falling over. Yeah, very disturbing. I managed to comfort her. She laid down. I comforted her, and believe it or not, she was wagging her tail. This dog permanently wags her tail, by the way. No matter what you do to her, she wags her tail, and she was still trying to wag her tail. So it was quite upsetting. I didn't quite know what I was going to do because I knew I'd got to go to Newcastle. By then, I put the side light on in the bedroom, back in the bedroom. Brought her back in the bedroom. She sort of managed to half get there, half not, and I helped her. By then, my wife woke up, so told her what had happened, and yeah, we decided she'd got to go to the vets now. I took my van. We've got a spare van. It's my wife drives it now. Got a Vauxhall Combo, which I used to have, an older van, which the dog goes in. It's her in the back. And so she said, let's go in two vans. Phone the vet up. Vet says, yeah, bring her straight in. So we put her in the Combo. I picked her up and carried her out. She's 38 kilos, this dog, so it wasn't easy. But bless her, she let me do it. Put her in the back of the Combo, and we took her to the vets. It was now 3:20. We feel like a bag of shit. By the way, it was -4, and everything was iced up, so it was a real nightmare. Yeah, got to the vets, and I got there first. My wife followed. The vet was there, and there was two nurses there. They work 24/7. They have a night staff on. I went to the back of the Combo to lift the dog out, and she didn't need to lift her out. She got up. And I lifted her down, and she walked. Quite unsteady, but she walked into the vets. So the vets, we told the vet exactly what I just said, what had happened. She says she's had some sort of seizure probably. The vet checked her over, and by the minute, this dog was improving. She was literally improving by the minute. Her heart rate was fine. They did all checks on her, bloody thermometer up her arse. Even she didn't particularly like that, but she did. And she's wagging her tail and walking around inside the vets, sniffing around, not a care in the world. The vet says sometimes they do have a seizure. Best to try and keep the dog under control for half an hour. She's an old dog, but there's absolutely nothing. Everything's fine. Her gums are pink. Yeah, she's got that. So, relief, big relief. big relief. We're not ready to lose her as well. So we both went home. I went home. I went back in my van. Julie went in hers with the dog. 250 quid lighter because it's emergency, and the dog, she's absolutely fine. Well, fine. Yeah, she's an old dog. She is slightly deaf. She's 3/4 deaf, but she seemed fine. We got home. We was home by about 4:30, something like that. So with that, Judy says, I said, well, I'll do this job, Newcastle. I'm going to get showered and shaved and all that, and I'll leave. And let me know if there's anything wrong. Once I'm doing this in Newcastle, I'll just drive straight home again, although it's 4.5 hour drive. So I left. So my first job. I'd had very little sleep, and I'm off to Newcastle. And no problem. Weather was it was cold. It was cold. -3, -2. It didn't drop. Pain in the arse on the motorway because you get muck on the windscreen. You can't use your bottle because it's froze. But yeah, I did stop once. Grabbed a coffee, went to the toilet. I was in Newcastle. I tipped Newcastle. Got good money for. I had good money for this job. It was, how many boxes was it? 13 boxes, 11 boxes, something like that. But all good. Then I'm looking for a job. Well, I was going to look anywhere, even Scotland, even though the weather had been crap up there. I thought, no, I'm going to look for a job south. I'm going to come back south. Then if there's anything, the dog has another turn or anything, I can just get home. So I waited around. And nothing really happened for about an hour and a half. Yeah, it was about 1:30 by then. Yeah, I'd done this job by 11:30, 11:45. I waited around an hour and a half, did a bit of paperwork, and it was cold. It was cold, so stayed in the van, didn't even go for a walk or anything. And then a job popped up from Hartlepool to Reading. Deliver Reading Tuesday morning, 9 o'clock. And I thought, bingo, that'll suit me just right, that will. So, yeah, it said phone, and this is going to be a good one. I phoned up, and I said, I says, hi, I said, I'm looking for a job. I'm a CX driver, and the voice at the other end said, are you the Saints man who does YouTube? And I went, I am. And he says, bloody hell, he said, I follow you, mate. He says, I watch all your videos. So it's Mick from N&D Couriers. He went, mate, I can't. He says, strange you listening to you, you phoning me. Anyway, we agreed a price. Hartlepool to Reading. He was happy, I was happy. So I got a job from a subscriber. So big up to Mick, N&D Couriers. He's based in Birmingham. So if you see any jobs from there, he's top man. And he got the job for me. And it was a generator from Hartlepool. And it was bloody heavy, it's nearly 400 kilos. But a generator going to a farm for Tuesday morning, which suited me fine, because to get to Reading, you have to go down to Northampton and swing a right down the A34. And I just swung a left and went home. So I was home that night, which I was really pleased about. I wasn't too late either. I was home by, about, what time was I home? About 6:15. And that was with filling up with fuel reef. No, 6:15, yeah, I was home. So that day, I split the job in money terms. So that day I did 490 miles for £294, which is not bad. It worked out 60 pence a mile all in. Ended up doing 12 3/4 hours the day was in all. But I was shattered because of what had happened during the night, the previous night. So it was an early night for me that night, because I'd got to have this in Reading. It said 9 o'clock, but Mick says, could you get there for 8 o'clock, because they're going to get cut off at this farm, electric. So no problem. I said, yeah, we'll do that. The dog was fine that night. We were all in bed by 9 o'clock. Dog was having a real restful day, obviously having a seizure, and a bit of stress and all that. Not good for her, but she seemed fine. She was pleased to bits to see me, because I always give her a treat. We're not walking at the moment because she has a seizure while she's out. My wife can't pick her up, nearly 40 kilos. I haven't had a chance to walk her. We're just keeping her sort of round the garden and round our garden, and she's happy with that. So, off we went. Tuesday, another early start, second one of the week, and I left the house. It said 1 hour 47 Reading, but that was when I put it in the Google at night when there's no traffic, so I thought it's going to be 2 hours. So I left the house at about 20 to 6 on that day, and off went to Reading. Yep, straight down. Got to Reading, no problems, and it was to a dairy farm. So it was in the middle, and it was on a little single road, not suitable for heavy goods and all this. I cleaned the van on Sunday. I cleaned the van Sunday. Well, by the time I've been at this track, single track, I mean all the rain we've had and all the snow and crap, found the dairy farm. Yeah, van was plastered, absolutely plastered. But hey, that's the job, isn't it? Found the farm. Found it. He got 400 Friesians. He was been milking, and they were getting cut off for a day because they were sorting some power lines out because of the bad weather over the weekend. So they were going to cut them off for a day. So in his generator was knackered, so he bought a brand new one, which I took. He took it out with a telehandler, one of them big long forklifts that you can, they extend out and pick up. And there was that much clearance when it went on, and the bloke who put it on was brilliant, really slow and steady, perfect. And I thought there's going to be a problem here because he's miles from it, and he got so much crap all over his windscreen. But I give him his due. I said, just watch me, my instructions. I said, don't go in. I said, it's my van. I said, and I want it in one piece. And to be fair to him, he was on the ball. Took it off. We had a nice chat actually, telling me how hard it's become farming, and it's just pants. He's got a cowman working for him. Jesus, the mud and cow shit, the stink. Oh, we done it though. Job done. It was just south of Reading. That job was done. Pulled out of there, and I decided I was going to go and clean the van anyway and get some fuel. And there was a fuel station just down the road that takes my fuel card, UK Fuels. Looked on the map, and job. Got the van, jet washed it myself, £4. Van looked spotless. So now I'm looking for a job, and I'm just going to decide I'm not doing long distance today, just in case the dog has any problems. It said 24 hours, could be a few issues maybe. And I got a job out of High Wycombe to Hemel Hempstead, and it was with a courier company that used me quite a bit. Well, I've done quite a few jobs for. 1 minute, just have a quick swig. Oh, nice. Yep, done quite a few jobs for this company, and he's a nice bloke. And I quoted, I was a fair way away. I quoted 70p a mile all in, but I was 20 miles away, and it was only a 30 mile job. I quoted £39, and it was for sort of 50 some-ish mileage. And phone went, and it was the courier chipper, and he says, "Hi Dave," he says, "you're all right to do that job?" He says, "I'll put you down for that job, that's great." And he says, "While you're on the phone," he says, "I've got a second job if you're interested." He says, "You're delivering to Hemel, HP3, and I've got a pickup in Hemel, HP3, to Northwest 3, which is London." And I went, "Okay." He says, "Do you fancy doing the second job? And it's got to be two separate jobs, but you fancy doing it?" I said, "Yeah, I don't know what to quote." He said, "Well," I said, "if it's going to London, I'll charge a bit more, obviously." And he said, "Well, leave the money with me, I'll sort that." He says, "Oh, as long as you're happy," he said, I'll make sure you get enough for it." So I've done jobs for him before. I said, "Yeah, fine." I says, "I'll start doing the first one," because it was picking up medicines to go to a prison. So I'm doing a cow farm, I'm doing a dairy farm, and I'm doing a prison. Anyway, I picked 2 boxes of meds up. It was for the pharmacy in the prison. Went to the prison, and in Hemel Hempstead, it was outside of Hemel Hempstead, it was in Bovingdon. And I pulled up. You have to get searched if you go in. Everything, van, the lot. I'm not fussed, but it just takes time. So he said to me, he says, "Try to get the gatehouse to take it." And so I did. I went to the gatehouse, I walked, I left the van, because once you go past a certain bit, if you're going in a compound, they search your van, whatever, even if you're just not going in. So I walked, and yeah, she says, "Oh, you're going to come in?" I said, "No." I says, "Can you take them through here?" I said, "It's just 2 boxes, that's all it is, for the pharmacy, unless you can phone them," which she did. And the pharmacy bloke come down, and he still opened the big gates, when you see a prison, huge gate, and he opened it about 3 foot, and I put these 2 boxes in a box, and then he shut the door, I was out, and he signed my paperwork. So it worked out okay. If I'd have gone in and I hadn't put them in this box and gone in, they'd have had to search me. Not virtually strip search, but they'd have searched me and put these bloody things over you. So yeah, that was all good. And the second job, I picked up residential. About mile away, 2 mile maybe, 2 mile away from a flat in Hemel Hempstead. And it was to go to the Royal Free Hospital, London, North West, which is Hampstead way. So near, so it's North London. I'm not keen on London, but yeah, so hospitals are a pain. I've got some magnetic displays, like with my company, say I'm a courier. I always put them on when I go to a hospital. I've got one. I can put one either side of the van. I normally put on one side, and I normally park where the ambulance is. Just by there, there's normally somewhere you can park. Well, the Royal Free was heaving, but we managed to get. I went into the main car park because they've got security people on the car park at the hospital. I says, I'm a courier. I'm delivering. He said the car park's full. He says you're in the wrong bit. He said you want to go down to where the ambulances go, and try and go in there, which I did. And you get 5 minutes drop off to get someone out of the car. And I've got to go to the haemophilia and thrombosis unit only. No dropping it at a post room, no dropping it at the main reception. It's got to go to this unit. I've got samples, I presume. They were in test tubes, I got them in a bag, so I didn't know. And we did. And it was at three floors up, right along the end of a corridor, and there was a unit there. I was more than 5 minutes. I was probably 10 to 15. Even the woman there said, where have you parked? I said, I'm downstairs in a 5-minute bit. Oh, I'll get you sorted quick as I can. And they did. I'll give them the do they did. But by the time I'd gone all the way back, I used the toilet in the hospital. I don't like going to hospitals when it's packed because there's infection. People in there, they're not well. But anyway, we come out, I gelled up, I've gelled everything, bloody got my mask and everything on. So that job was done. So I've been to a dairy farm on Tuesday, I've been to a prison, I've been to a hospital. I come out and I decided I was going to go and park up at, I call it Scratchwood Services, it's apparently London Gateway Services, bottom of the M1. It's only 6 mile away. And I thought, I'll go and park up there. Oh, by the way, I got really good money for the job. It was 24 miles and I'll give him shipper dude brilliantly. He paid me 50 quid because it was a hospital and I told him I'd take it right to where it's got to go, and I did. So I got well paid for that, but he got a job that he knew was going to get done right. So it works, to me it works both ways, but it gives me a bit of flexibility on pence per mile. I am well up. So I went and parked up at the services and I thought I just want a 40 quid job going home now, and that's my target for the day. I'm looking at 200 if I can get it, and a job, 2 or 3 jobs popped up to Luton, and I quoted on them, but I've got to go back into Wembley to get them, and I didn't get them because London people are just coming out of there on cheap money. I think Big Beardy says about it, and Mount Van on the Run. Yeah, they're just, once you get into London, to get out you've got to quote cheap because you ain't going to get it. So another job popped up from a courier shipper that I've done a few jobs for, and he knows me by first name, and it was from Hitchin, which I was 40 minutes away, about 27 mile, to Northampton, NN3, right near where I live, and I mean right near, within 2 miles of where I live. So it was an industrial estate the other side, about 2.5 mile away. So it's brilliant. I thought I'm going to quote Keane. I'm just going to quote Keane. So I quoted 60p a mile, all in. It was 39 quid, and that would have got me just over 200, £201 that got me. And that's top, that's my target. And I ain't really had to do much for that. It's just piddling around. I ain't done a lot of mileage. So I went to this company to pick up, and I've got 2 consignment numbers to go to a company in industrial area in Northampton, which I've been to this company a few times with this shipper. So I knew what it was all crack was. Nice. Thought I'm going to be home. I was hoping to be home done by 3. And got there, and I give the consignment number, and I was there before the time. It was no later than 1:45. I was there at 1:30. Yeah, that rings a bell. Yeah, 1:30. And he says, all right, he says, if you want to wait out in your van, he said, we'll bring it out to you. And I heard him say to this bloke, he says, oh, you better start picking this order. I thought, start picking it? It's meant to be going. I thought, oh well. So I'd already put when I was on site, and then my shipper, who I'm working for, sent me a message just before I was going to ring him, because I've been there half an hour, and he says, everything okay, Dave? And so I phoned him. I said, well, it's not. I said, they're picking it. I said, I think they're still picking it. I said, I've been here half an hour. I said, there's no sign of it coming out. I could see they weren't pushing themselves. And he said, I'll get the customer to phone them. He says, but if, and I'll get back to you. Which he sent a message, text message saying, they're still picking it. We'll work some waiting time out, mate, if you're okay. I went, yeah, I'll do anything else. So that's what I did. I waited, and it wasn't that long, actually. It worked out. It was about 50 minutes, nearly an hour from getting there to going, and so that's sort of 40 minutes. He just says, what do you want to, if I bung you a tenner on it? I went, that's fine. I said, it's getting me home. So he gave me another tenner, so I got 49 quid on the job, which made it nice. Made me, and I got home, I was still home 4:15, and I hadn't done a lot. In fact, I went for a little bit of a walk while I was picking this, because it was on a little industrial estate, but I had a little walk down, trains at the end. Yeah, it's easy enough. So that day I did £211.50p, because the first job, I'd split the first job from Monday and Tuesday, so it ended up with 50p difference. I did 277 mile. I averaged 676 pence, so that's good money. Yeah, really good with that. Happy with that. So that's 2 really good days, Monday and Tuesday. I had a phone call from the shipper, who I do a bit of work for, saying I've got a job for tomorrow, going Bristol and Cardiff. He said I'll send it over. So I send it over. I went, yep, send that over for me. He says you can pick it up tonight, and it was 6 boxes, 4 for Bristol, 2 for Cardiff. And he knows my rate. He doesn't put it on CX. He just sends it over to me, which I really appreciate. And that's what I've done this morning. Again, these jobs I do for this shipper, for this retail company, it's an open-ended booking. I can go in when I fancy. But if I can get to Bristol for 9 o'clock, before 9, get it tipped, go to Cardiff, get that tipped for about 10:30, I'm already £115 up, and it's still 10:30. I'm halfway past my target. Then I'm just looking for something out of Cardiff, either going back to where I come from or anywhere really, just to get my money. And that's what's happened. I left again this morning. 3 early starts this week. I left at 6 o'clock this morning, so that was 6 o'clock Monday, 5:45 Monday, although I've been up since 3 o'clock. 6 o'clock Tuesday to go to Reading, and 6 o'clock this morning I was on the road, and I tipped in Bristol at 5 to 9. Easy. Because I've been in these places before, they know me now. Got my big Saints flag in the back, so he refused to tip me at first because he's a Bristol supporter, and we kicked their asses last Friday. We have a right laugh about it, and he says you can wait there for 4 hours, he says, because you got that Saints flag in. I said, that's all right, I'll just keep talking about the Saints. I says, and gloating. So he tipped me in 2 minutes. Nice old boy. And I've done Cardiff. Tipped Cardiff an hour later. And there's a real good, I think I've said this before, it's a really good burger van right in the centre of Cardiff on a little industrial estate, just where you have to go through to get where I have to get to. And it's just amazing bacon and sausage baguette and a mug of tea, which is what I'm still drinking because it's still hot now. And it's £4. And yeah, it's called Carl Burgers, not Carl's Burgers, not Carlsberg, Carl's Burgers. So free plug for you, mate. So all good. Cleared Cardiff, pulled out of Cardiff, and I didn't even go anywhere. I stayed in their loading area because it was quiet. And a job popped up from a courier. I've done work again, a nationwide courier. And it was pick up Bridgend to Abingdon. I easily thought, I've done this job a fair few times, and it's like a 5 o'clock pickup or a 3 o'clock pickup, and it's normally too late. I mean, it was only 10:30, but it's a 1 o'clock pickup, and it's to Abingdon. I know the address. It's a COVID, and I thought it's got to be the same studios I'm picking up from, which it will be. And so I quoted on it. I quoted 110, which I thought was quite keen. I didn't see how many drivers were around. I thought there couldn't be many. and I got a phone call after a while. It took about 10 minutes. I still hadn't moved. I was finishing my sausage and bacon baguette, and we sort of had a little barter. She said, I'm only in it for 100, and I already thought, I'll drop £5, but I ain't dropping no more. So I dropped £5, and she gave me the job. And that's where we are. I'm waiting. It is now 11:30. I'm picking up at 1 o'clock. I've got an hour and a half, and I'm 5 minutes away. So once I've done this, I'm going to go and have a little walk. It's just about stopped raining. I'm going to find somewhere to have a little walk round. I'm sat on the edge of a roundabout at the moment, but I'm only 5 minutes away. So that's it. So today, with this 105 and 115 on the first job, is 220. So that gets me 3 days. I've hit target. I've gone over target. I was 294 Monday, 211 Tuesday, and it'll be 220. Yeah, 220 today. So over the week, that puts me 50, 140, about 145 over target of 1,000. So I've got Thursday and Friday. I could just have a little play around. I can either smash it and really go for the big week, which if it's there I may do, or I can do what I did last week and just have 2 easy piddly days doing 3 local jobs, and I'm still going to hit target. So it's up to me how I feel. I've had 3 early starts. I think what I'm saying is, to get good money for a small van, as Pete calls them, Pete the courier calls them Uncle Alberts, for a small van like me, the only way to hit your 200, you've got to get an early job in at least twice a week. You've got to get 2 long days. You have to put in a couple of really long days to get you over target, because you ain't going to average 200 a day just going pooling around 50 quid jobs. And it's also winter. It's cold, it's dark, and it's dark when you leave the house, it's dark when you get home. But to me, in the winter, you may as well work, because what are you going to do? Watch poxy telly. There's nothing on telly. So yeah, quite happy to work, but again, don't really want to be killing yourself so you can't do anything. Got the weekend off, which I have every weekend off, so that's good. But yeah, I've definitely got to load back to Abingdon, and that's going to get me to Abingdon 1 o'clock. It's going to get me to Abingdon about 3:30. I'm not going to hang around. I'm going to hang around for. Abingdon's about 60 miles from my house. I'm either going to look for another job and stay out because it's not too bad today, or I'm going to just look for a job to Northampton. But I ain't going to hang around long. I'll probably hang around till about 4:30 because it's about an hour and 15 to my house. So I'll probably start mooching up towards Oxford and see between Oxford, Abingdon and Bicester, see if there's anything going. Banbury comes into it. But if not, it'll just be trundle home and I'll still be happy. So, good start to the week. Very happy. Hope you're all doing well. I'm up to 189 subscribers. I say, I even got work off a subscriber on Monday. So, Mick at N&D Couriers, who's based in Birmingham. So, big shout out, mate. Thanks for the work. And also told me if I'm ever around Birmingham to give him a bell, he might have some work going long distance as well. So, that's good. Hope you're all doing well, making money. I'll speak at the end of the week. See ya.